Let's be for real here. If I were to survive in a Quiet Place universe, I'd be dead in seconds because I happen to be a very loud yapper. So yeah, as soon as I start yapping, I'm dead right there. These death angels will immediately slice me up to bits. Let's pray to God we don't ever have an alien invasion like that because it's gonna be hard for me to stay quiet to survive. Actually, we're getting a Quiet Place game later this year. Don't know if I'll do a gaming review series on that like I did with Spider-Man 2, but with that being said, hello everyone, welcome back to another double movie review on the channel. I don't know what was the last double movie review I done on the channel. Insert the thumbnail of my last double movie review I done. Anyway, so today, A Quiet Place Day 1 hits theaters, and I so badly want to see it, just to have that theater experience, because I remember seeing A Quiet Place Part 2 as I covered a movie vlog for that 3 years ago, and, yeah, I would like to have that theater experience, and I'm not talking about the one where the theater goes well, like how I had that theater experience for Spider-Man No Way Home. I mean, just, like, this is a different type of theater experience I'm wanting. But just still, though. I don't know when I'll be able to see it. I'm hoping to catch it in theaters. Tomorrow I'm going to go see Inside Out, too, because I haven't seen that movie. And I'm going to later watch the first one tonight, unless I do that tomorrow. Actually, I'll probably do that tomorrow. I don't know. We shall see. Actually, the next double movie review you see after this will be my Independence Day review. And I wanted to watch the Independence Day movies on the 4th of July, but I'm just going to watch the movies and then post the review on 4th of July in celebration of Independence Day. Next year, I'll probably try again. I don't know. We shall see. And also, I'm actually going to try to whisper for this because I gotta keep my voice down because we're talking about A Quiet Place Part 1 and 2 in celebration of A Quiet Place Day 1, which happens to be a prequel of the series that's out there. So yeah, I meant to post this yesterday, but since I sadly am not able to see the movie, okay, now that I think about it, I don't think the dogs in the Quiet Place universe would have ever survived because they'd be barking that loud. So when you think about it, all dogs have been wiped from existence. The only surviving pet animal would be cats, I guess. Let's hope that cat does survive in A Quiet Place Day 1. As I was trying to say, in celebration of A Quiet Place Day 1 in theaters, I figured it'd be the perfect time to review the first two movies that have been released in the past 6 years now. So we'll start off with A Quiet Place Part 1 that was released on April 6, 2018, which was, 6 years ago, as I said. So I had heard about this movie, slightly piqued my interest, but just back then, these movies weren't really my taste. But since I'm now watching movies that are out of my comfort zone, it's, I guess, refreshing or something, but still though. I'm shocked that John Krasinski has directed this movie. Like, I guess during that time period, I was shocked to find out that actors could direct their own movies, like Tyler Perry or Michael B. Jordan. And then recently, Dev Patel. I don't know what's so cool about it. I just find it cool that actors get to direct their own films and star in them. Oh, and I probably shouldn't forget about Sylvester Stallone because he's directed most of his Rocky movies. That I'm shocked about. But yeah, I most likely saw this movie for the first, I think the first time I saw this was around 2020, around when the second movie was supposed to come out at that time. But we'll talk about that later. Because like I said, I didn't want to go check this out because I wasn't into horror movies back then or anything. I don't know. This just wasn't my type of movie, but I don't know what changed my damn mind, but I eventually checked it out, and I don't know what were my thoughts about it back then. I know I got the same thing I have that I would consider a nitpick for me, because, well, it's not that it's a problem for the movie, it's something that I'm like, no, this character dies, which I'm gonna get to that later, but as of right now, no, yeah, I like Quiet Place. John Krasinski had directed this movie very well, and, this is a pretty well-directed movie. Well, horror movie, I should say. Now, in this movie, you don't know much of what has happened, other than that the world has slightly ended. There's barely any survivors out there. You're mainly focused on just the family in this movie. And I will say this, I am not a fan of how this movie opened up, because I am someone that does not enjoy seeing kids die on screen. I don't like it, and just having to see the family lose their youngest kid, oh my, oh, I hate that, I hate it, I hate watching it, it's so upsetting. But then I get upset a lot more later on when the dad had to sacrifice himself to save his two kids from the Death Angel, which apparently these aliens are called Death Angels, from what I've gathered. But yeah, you don't know much about them. I mean, there's clues stuff here and there, and I noticed some stuff involving New York City, like, oh, that is this like supposed to be a setup for the prequel, Day One? And while I'll admit I'm not a fan of movies that involve the world has ended, I am quite fascinated with this Quiet Place universe. More importantly, I'm more intrigued with the Death Angels, where they come from, and how the hell did they crash landed on Earth. But yeah, like I said, you don't get to know much about them, and I guess it goes on for the other two movies. From what I've heard, you don't get to know much about them in Day One, as I watched 3C Films review on A Quiet Place Day One. But yeah, you're mainly focused on just the family in this movie, and yeah, there's not much dialogue, because most of it's in sign language, but no, this is a really well-directed movie. I gotta say, this was not a bad one for me. Well, I was upset of certain characters dying off screen. All I can say is that I really enjoyed A Quiet Place, and, I didn't think we'd be getting part 2, honestly, as I was shocked. Like, around the end of 2019, I was shocked we had gotten a teaser for A Quiet Place part 2, that which confirmed that, wait, they're making a sequel? And the second movie was supposed to come out in 2020, but had gotten delayed due to COVID-19. But again, I'm going to bring that up in a second. Let me just wrap up on my thoughts for part 1. What's so great about this movie is the suspense. Like, you're just quiet, you're just focused on just what's going on to happen. You care for the family, and, like, I know I've seen this movie, I know what happens, yet it is still suspenseful to watch, even though I've already have seen this movie. I think this is like my second, possibly third time? I think it's probably my second. I don't know. It could be my third time I've seen this movie. I'm not too sure. I've kind of lost track. But no, yeah, this was a really great movie, and I'm gonna give it either an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. And probably a bad time to even say this. That baby in the movie picked a really, really bad time to be born, because that baby is lucky he didn't get any of his family members killed from the Death Angels. But anyways, I think that's all I'll probably mention for A Quiet Place Part 1. Now for Part 2, yeah, as I've said earlier, I was shocked to find out that they were doing a sequel, and I remember doing a trailer reaction, actually. Once, I think the first trailer was released around New Year's Day of 2020. And I actually got to see this in theaters, and yeah, I'd say I had a pretty good theater experience 3 years ago seeing this. And I remember my dad jump scaring the crap out of me as I was quiet, focused, just trying to just absolute silence. And he just jump scares the crap out of me. But yeah, with part 2, I'd say this is a superior sequel compared to part 1. Like, that, I would say this would be in the category of sequel better than the original, like how The Dark Knight is the best sequel and all that. Like, so you get what I'm trying to say. As for the opening scene, that's something I actually enjoyed. Well, I didn't enjoy the opening scene for part 1 because a kid dies. That's upsetting to watch. For part 2, we get to see how it slightly began, mainly in whatever location they're at. Because in the prequel movie, we're focused on different characters, and we're in a different location, which would be New York City, and the entire movie is just, and we're just there, Day One. I mean, it's in the title. Day One. But still, I'll talk about my thoughts on that whenever I get the chance to see the movie and do a review on it. But no, I definitely enjoyed the opening scene. Well, it was definitely terrifying, and RIP to whoever had been killed by these Death Angels. No, yeah, that opening scene was definitely one of the best parts of this movie. But I gotta say, the lead actress that plays... Oh god, I can't remember her name. Okay, she's deaf in this movie. She's the one of the oldest of this Abbott family. I don't know if I pronounced their last name correctly, but no, I gotta say, I thought she stole the show for me in this movie. Because in the last one, they were kind of dealing with grief. I mean, she was pretty much blaming herself for letting her brother die, and she thought that her dad had blamed her or something, but no, her dad still loved her and cared for her, and just... okay, those dogs are barking. I apologize for that. But no, yeah, I feel upset knowing that the dad is gone. I mean, hey, he did come back for this movie. Also directed. John Krasinski didn't want to direct this movie, but once he was, like, working out the script or whatever, he was like, damn it, I'm directing this movie.
An immediate response from the studio that they wanted a sequel. And I think I realized in the process that I am an audience member first before I was a writer, director, or actor in the movie. And as the audience member, I've always been weary of sequels. Why would you do another one when the first one was so good? How are you going to expand the world? I had all those same questions. I had no intention of doing it. I told them to find another writer, director. And while they were sort of contemplating that, I had this tiny idea. My producing partner on the movie, Andrew Form, said, well, can you just write out an outline to give to any writer, director we hire? And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. And as I was writing the outline, I was halfway through it typing and I went, damn it, I'm directing this movie.
But yeah, he won't be back for part 3, unfortunately. So I forgot why he won't direct part 3, but yeah, he did came back to direct part 2, but also starred in it mainly for the opening scene. So at least we got to see him in there. But yeah, I think the 2 leads that carried this movie for me were not only, as I mentioned earlier, the lead actress, that's one of the oldest kids, but also Cillian Murphy's character. I definitely enjoyed the dynamic together in this movie, as, like, she kind of, in the middle of the movie, she dips off after, I forgot what was Cillian Murphy's character's name, but he saves them from the Death Angels as they had left their house, and then the son accidentally stepped on a bear trap, which, oh my god, he's lucky to still have a foot. But actually, he and his mom are still lucky to have a foot. I forgot to mention, in the first movie, she stepped on a nail while she was pregnant, and oh my god, that whole sequence where she has to be quiet while I have to deliver a baby, oh my god. Like, no, these movies are actually terrifying, and you just... Like, they just have good suspense. But yeah, he's lucky to still have a foot. But yeah, the characters are slightly separated, while Cillian Murphy's character is pretty much babysitting damn it, I'm gonna look up her name. Okay, so the character's name, Regan. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I'm very bad with names. Okay, I looked up the other character's name, Emmett. So while Emmett and Regan are trying to work together on finding a way to contact outsiders, or like let everyone know how to defeat these things, if I recall correctly. I did watch part 1 and 2 recently this week in preparation for day 1. Emily Blunt's character, along with her other 2 kids, are just back at Emmett's base, and yeah, around the end of the movie, you do fear for both of them as they're about to be attacked by Death Angels. But yeah, I just was really enjoying myself watching this movie, and around the end, I just couldn't believe that it ended on a cliffhanger like that. Because, like, I wanted to see more. I wanted to see how they could try to defeat these Death Angels and slightly save humanity. But now I gotta wait for part 3, which could be another 3 years or something. Because, like, this movie was supposed to come out in 2020. I think March 20th of 2020. But thanks to COVID-19, that had gotten delayed. That movie was about to come out next week after Bloodshot, which was the last movie I saw before theaters were shut down, I guess, because of the COVID-19 virus. So yeah, it had gotten delayed a couple of times. I don't know how many times it got delayed. I just know that it finally was released in theaters May 2021. I got to see it, and I'm glad I got to see it in theaters, because boy, that was a good experience. And yeah, I now would like to see how part 3 wraps up this trilogy. I mean, we technically have somewhat of a trilogy if you count day 1, but that is a prequel, and it's focused on different characters and taking place somewhere else, which I could see the potential there as it's set in New York City. But yeah, my rating for this movie, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I honestly should have put this on my top 10 favorite movies of 2021. This was really not a bad movie. I mean, I could swap it out with any movies. I don't know. I feel like I probably was slightly lazy with my top 10 list for favorite movies of 2021. I don't know. If I may cave in. I could cave in on swapping out one of the movies on my list. And this could be on my top 10 or on my honorable mentions. But yeah, I guess those are just my thoughts on part 1 and 2 of A Quiet Place. And I do hope to see day 1 soon in theaters. And yeah, I would like to know when the hell we're getting part 3. That being said, those are just my thoughts on A Quiet Place part 1 and 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this somewhat of a quiet review. I've done a part, like I said earlier, I'm a loud yapper, so I'd be dead in seconds if they heard me yapping. But yeah, I am really fascinated with this world, mainly with the alien creatures, the Death Angels, because I would like to know a lot more about them, and just, yeah, I mean, I know they didn't plan on invading Earth. I mean, they because, like, they don't have, like, a brain or anything. I don't know if I'm explaining that well. I mean, they're just basically animals that just hate sound. And, yeah, it's crazy how there was a crap load of them. I mean, there was 3 in the movie, but looks like there were more. And I fear they're in that one location, but no, they're all over the freaking planet. Like, no, I honestly want to know how this all happened. I mean, I know we see it in day 1 and all that, but I honestly want to know more about these Death Angels and how their asteroid just took a pit stop at planet Earth and decided to wipe out pretty much the entirety of humanity. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next double movie review. Peace out. That was stupid there. I apologize.